which is to bring about the second coming of this sky god by the name of Jehovah in Jerusalem. So you have occultists that truly believe that this can be accomplished, but then it may actually not be a sky god, but it's really an alien. Okay, an alien race. And of course, this has to be kept secret because we can't have aliens here because we've told the humanity for 2,000 years that we're the only people in the universe. And if we now break their childish reality, that they're all going to panic on us. So we have to keep it secret now. So to me, you have this very dangerous blending of an occult force with a political agenda. And the political agenda doesn't care about humanity. Well, and consequently, the occult force doesn't care about humanity either.
This gets a little murky for me personally, so just if you can bear with me while I try to sort out a little bit. It sounds like rather than interpreting these type of things as allegorical, symbolic, they're being interpreted literally, which is a hallmark of extremists and, people who are generally not
flexible,
don't have the depth of understanding of language that you would expect from someone who'd been studying these things over a long period of time. And I'm not even exactly sure what the question is, but I find it very strange that not only is the interpretation of what I think of as symbolic it's interpreted literally, but that the literal interpretation may be correct, and that it's got to do with non-terrestrial or ultra-terrestrial life or some kind of non-human entities. Am I
correct?
That's what you're saying?
Yeah, correct. Is that basically it's the philosophy is the mythology is embedding a reality. And enough people believe in this reality that it does become manifest.
So are we talking about what are, I guess, normally called extraterrestrial biological entities? Are we talking about some kind of thought form gone awry or some combination of the two, or maybe both?
Yeah, well, obviously we don't have access to any of this information, so this is purely conjecture, but knowing what we do know, we'll just throw something out there, and I believe it's extraterrestrial type creatures or biological beings using the mythology to their benefit to advance their ends, whatever those ends might be. But the mythology they're feeding their human capital, meaning this elite, ultra elite level, fits in with their mythology. So they're basically using the human mythologies to this extraterrestrial benefit, and the humans are just too stupid to quite get it because they don't have this basis in a solid esoteric construction. So they're not able to penetrate this philosophical flaw because they don't have the training. But it's national security, so they can't get advice from people like us because they just don't have. We're not allowed in we're not part of the game. We're not part of the play.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And I'd also like to give you an opportunity if you had any additional final thoughts for people listening.
Well, just two things. Obviously, thanks for listening to the show. If you're still with us, as we say at the end of the show here, thanks for listening to the whole show. The Illuminatus Observer, it is the definitive site for Hermetic and Western esoteric deconstructions, or as we deconstruct this occult system that was constructed and encoded into the English language. It continues to grow. Its readership has just been doing fabulous. It's going to reach over 200,000 visitors within a week or two. Inside the Eye, the podcast companion to the Illuminatus Observer, has had nearly 10,000 hits as far as show listens. It gets about 15 gigabit of file transfer per month. So it's really one of the most, relevant of the podcasts available on Western esoteric Hermetic Qabalah that's available on the market today. All of this is free. You're welcome to come and peruse the sites, listen to the sites, leave the comments. As long as they're respectful, everything gets posted. And just if you're interested in Western esoteric deconstruction, not constructing, but deconstructing Western esoteric systems, well, then the Illuminatus Observer is definitely going to be a site for you, and you'll get added insights inside the eye.
Yeah, thank you again, Fetch. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And again, I would encourage people, if they haven't already, to check out your work. It is fascinating.
Greg, thanks again for having me. I know it's been a long time, and hope to do another show with you.
Yeah, that would be great. In the Occult of Personality membership section, I talk with Fetch more about Enochian magic, ultra-terrestrial intelligences, conspiracies, UFOs and aliens, the origins of language and symbolism, and more. Just as it sounds, we completely go down the proverbial rabbit hole, so join us for that fascinating conversation in the Occult of Personality membership section. The link to the membership section is on the sidebar of the occultofpersonality.net website, or just browse to occultofpersonality.net/membership.